Hi there, artists. So I'm going to be going over how you can do a more realistic head shape. So the first thing I'd like you to note is that your head is actually the shape of an egg. So we are eggheads, folks. And so when I noticed a lot of you already practicing your portraits, a lot of the times you know what to draw, but you don't know where to draw it. So pay attention. I'm going to show you the video in 3 parts. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the eyes though. So your eyes are actually in the middle of your head. Did you see that trick I did with my fingers and I just went to the middle? So they line up right above your ears. And I put a guideline. You might not even be able to see it because it's so faint. Guidelines I erase completely later on, so I don't want to draw them dark. And this is the line that my eyes are going to sit on. If you, on your own body, draw a line from the top of your ears, it's going to hit your eyes. So the shape of your eyes, well, excuse me, rewind. The length of your head is about 5 eyes long. You do not need to remember all this stuff. I'm going to throw a million things out at you. So did you see that I added 4 little tick marks and that gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections? I started with the middle because that's the middle. That's going to be the just to help with my symmetry. Sorry, guys. And right here is going to be where my eyes are. Your eyes are not very big. I like to start with the top line. You should draw even lighter than me. I'm going to go a little bit darker. And I do both top lines first, and if they're not exactly the same, that's all right, we're practicing. And then I can start with the bottom. So the shape of your eyes, you can draw an oval shape, you can draw a football shape, which is a little bit more advanced, or you can draw a lemon shape, which is the more traditional. So I'm not going to put quite as many details on this eye as I did on this eye. Actually, I haven't even drawn eyes. Those are not eyes, those are eyelids, the skin around your eye. In real life, your eyes are a ball and they sit in your eye socket. And you can only see your eye through your eyelids, which is what I just drew. The rest of the eye that I need to draw is the iris. Your iris is the colored part of your eye. If you look at your neighbors, you do not see, unless your neighbor has huge eyes, the whole iris, all right? So that's the colored part of your eye, and I made it like a circle right here, but again, the circle cuts off. And then the pupil, which is the black part of your eye, that is how you see, all right? So the iris is basically a funnel, and the funnel lets your pupil get smaller or larger. So your pupil, that's again the black part of your eye, if you are in the light, your pupils get a lot smaller because they don't want to let so much light in. If you are in the dark, your pupils, again, that's the black part, get a lot bigger because they're trying to let more light in, all right? So your pupil is actually a hole that is in your head and a lens covers it, all right? Sometimes people wear contact lenses on top of those to be another lens. Now, there's other details that you can add in your eye. You could add the crease in your eye. You could add the striations of color that go towards your eye, like I did more on this one. I'm going to skip most of that, but I will tell you, for those of you that are drawing eyelashes, when you're drawing eyelashes, I often see people make little sticks. Your eyelashes do not look like that. They do not grow straight up, all right? It's hard to make something that grows out, all right? Your eyelashes, though, are instead like Nike swooshes. They start at the top and they swoosh down. Swoosh. Swoosh. I'm kind of making them exaggerated so you can kind of see. But this looks like a more realistic eyelash, all right? Is Nike swooshes. Swoosh. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there. Okay, guys. So hopefully you had some time to play with your eyes and make them how you like them. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the nose, all right? So the eyes, like I mentioned, are in the middle of your head. And the nose is actually not in the middle of your head because that's where the eyes are, but they are in the middle of the bottom half. So to find that ish, I'm going to put a finger in the middle of the eyes, put a finger on the chin, and I'm going to meet in the middle, all right? That's where my nose is going. It should line up with the bottom of your ears. Go ahead, try it. On your real face, draw a line from the bottom of your ears and see if it touches the bottom of your nose. It should-ish. We're all a little bit different, of course. All right, noses are the hardest because they stick out, kind of like eyelashes. I do not want to see the L-shaped nose. That is a sideways nose. to make a nose, what you're going to do is, it's actually going to fit within your eye. So I'm going to go ahead and just make some lines. These are guidelines. I'm going to erase them. All right, do you see that? And to make a nose, or I'm going to draw it darker than you should, you're going to start with a circle. You should draw it pretty light because actually a lot of it gets erased. It's going to look like a clown. It doesn't even go all the way to the edges. And then when you're done with the circle shape, you're going to connect C shapes on the sides of them. And still kind of looks like clown nose, so I can erase the top. And that is a more realistic nose. Let me get rid of my guidelines. I don't need those anymore. I can even get rid of the ones at the top of my eyes. Again, I could have added more details on my eyes, but I stopped. If you want to do even more realistic, I'm going to make a curved line that would go all the way down to connect to that circle, but it's not. It's just for the bridge of my nose, all right? It kind of goes up like that. All right. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and now show you the mouth and the rest of the face, okay? So we did the eyes in one step. We should have done the nose in one step. Again, you can always finesse it, go back and forth, having it more how you like it. But now it's time for the mouth. To make the mouth, this is where it is. Are you paying attention, people? Go to the bottom of your nose. Go to the bottom of the chin. Make your fingers meet so they meet in the middle. That little line that I drew is the bottom of the bottom lip. That's right. Your mouths are pretty small, okay? How wide is my mouth? To make the width of your mouth, it's about the center of your eye, all right? So I'm making lines down that I'll eventually erase. There we go. That's the bottom of the mouth. So I'm going to go, and actually the first part of my mouth that I'm going to draw is the crack that separates my two lips. I'm going to do that, for the sake of this example, as a straight line. It's going to go all the way across to meet those guidelines. Looks like Mr. Clean, doesn't it? Okay, guys. After I did that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my bottom lip. To make my bottom lip, it's going to be like a boat in the water. I'm going to extend that straight line a little bit. By the way, when it was just before I drew that, that's often how they do cartoon lips. And I'm going to drag it up so it meets to almost the point, all right? Your lips are pretty small. Even this is pretty thick lip. You can even make it smaller than this. So make it thinner, not thicker. To make the top lip, just a little ways above it, I'm going to make that little dip. And the top lip is almost like two mountains. And again, I don't have to make them thick, all right? You could. Some people have very thick lips, but a lot of times we have thinner lips. Okay, that essentially is my mouth. Again, I can go ahead and I could erase things as I go along. And now it's time to work on the top half of the head because I've got a baldy. All right, are you listening, people? Are you listening? To make your eyebrows. The eyebrows, there is math for it, but I'm not going to give that to you. You're going to go a little bit away above your head, make a small line where the eye, a little ways above your eye, make a small line right above it. On the other end of your eye, make a polka dot. From the top, I'm going to make an arch and go to the polka dot. I'm going to make an arch and go to the polka dot. All right, same thing on this one. Make a little line right above the inside of the eye. Make a little dot on the opposite end. And then I'm going to connect to make a little arch. Go to the bottom of that line, make a little arch. If they are too high, you'll know because they look surprised, all right? So that is eyebrows. I drew them as shapes, not little lines. Are you ready, guys, for the hair? I know I'm throwing a lot of things out for you. This is where I think I'm going to see a lot of growth from you. Often I saw people just making like lines or sticks on top of the head. If you do that, then you are giving yourself a big old bald spot, everybody. Your hair does not grow just from back here. Your hair grows from down here, okay? So actually, technically it's about a third of the way down, but I'm just gonna fudge it so you can see a little bit how it goes like that. And it goes, make sure you're making your hair go all the way to your ears, especially for short hair people. I often see people just kind of have it end at the top of your head. Feel above your ears. Is there hair in this spot? Sure is. So this again is a guideline. That's just kind of my hairline, all right? excuse me, I'm going to do a short hairstyle and a long hairstyle, kind of like I did here, but I'm not going to do all this fancy shading. You are welcome to try the fancy shading. I'm going to make a part, and to make a part, I'm going to make it a little bit curved line. That just kind of fools viewers into thinking your head is round. And to make a short haircut on the top of your head, you can make some kind of zigzag if you want straighter hair, or wavy if you want it to be curly hair. And it's going to go all the way to your ears. You can even have a little bit behind your ears showing. And then you'll also have some kind of it down on your head probably. So I can also make a zigzag line. And that is a more realistic way to make hair. Notice it's not right on the very top of your head. Otherwise you have greasy hair. All right, let's pivot and I'm going to show you more longer hair. Same type of thing though, is that you want it to be in shapes. If you want curly hair or straight hair, and you can make shapes. All right. If you want to have bangs, you would have the same type of thing as here, depending on if they're straight or curly. You just make a longer type of zigzag. And again, it might cover up some of your ears, no problem. And then to color in hair. All right, listen up, people. I do not want to see people that just color in like this, all right? Then you just gave your hair a bunch of gray hair that isn't even growing in the right direction. If you are adding details, you need to add it in the same direction that the hair is growing, all right? Bangs and everything. You do not need to make tons and tons and tons of hair, because then again, it appears gray. You're going to make just a few lines indicating their hair, and you're going to make those lines in the same direction that the hair would really grow in. Okay. There's one last thing. Sorry, folks. I know you're ready. But shoulders. I don't want to see this move anymore. People just drop off your shoulders. Feel your shoulders. They are the widest part of your body. They are very big. Picture a hanger. Can you picture a hanger where you would like hang a fancy dress or something like that, or a coat? Those are big. Those are the same shape as your shoulders. Your shoulders are huge. So actually, your shoulder should go all the way off the page in this case. They'd be another head length for each one. So here's a head. One shoulder would be another head. One shoulder would be another head. And this is a naked person, so we need to put some clothes on. I'm going to put a little arch or a little curve line and all the way to the other side. I could do it again to make it look like a t-shirt. All right, guys. I can keep going, adding shading and having fun, adding coloring, but it's your turn. All right, everybody. Happy arting.